What am I supposed to do when my shower rod keeps falling from the wall and I've watched all the episodes of To Catch a Predator? Why get inspired to make a card trick tutorial? Because those things are all correlated. You know, in watching all the reruns of To Catch a Predator, I'm actually quite surprised that no person has ever emptied out his pocket and had sponge balls inside of it. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the prophecy move and why this is probably the second or possibly third greatest move in all of card magic. I hope you've prepared yourself to defend your virginity at all costs, because after you learn this move and after you understand what it's capable of, you're going to have women throwing themselves on you and you're going to have to push them back. You're going to have to say no, not today, not ever. Bin Wangs. I'm going to be using the Bin Wangs today just to show that I'm not racist. I'm going to be using the Bin Wang playing cards, all right? Just to show solidarity with the Asians. You know what I'm talking about, you repressed Asians? This is for you. The prophecy move, it's simple. You have a card, in this case, we'll use the 10 of spades. You tell the spectator, go ahead and shove it into the deck anywhere you want, sir. Of course, they shove it in with consent in the middle of the deck right there, and you go, obviously you could have shoved this anywhere you wanted in the deck. It was the 10 of spades that I had a little bit of a prediction of earlier, sir. I had a premonition with the 10 of spades, knowing that you would be my mate. I'm going to prove how, because you could have shoved this card anywhere in the deck. As a matter of fact, one card higher and it would have been the 7 of spades. One card lower, sir, and it's the 10 of clubs, the mate of the 10 of spades, the mate, thus showing that we are sexually compatible. So come on. Come on. So that's just one very basic application of the prophecy move. And if you're not familiar with the Pigcake Magic Academy, I show this move and a lot of different applications with it. $5 a month gets you 2 videos every single week going over card stuff, going over coin stuff. I believe over 500 to 600 videos already there. What? You get access to all that the moment you sign up. That's like a bargain. You also get access to the piggybacker section of videos, which is $1 a month, but those are 2 different tutorials you get every single week. So if you're part of that basic bitch Pigcake Magic Academy tier, you get 4 videos a week. If you're part of the mentalism tier, you get 5 videos a week going over everything. You got some mentalism, you got some card stuff, there's some good coin stuff there. Why don't you join? Go ahead, support this channel and support yourself when it comes to learning some good old-fashioned card tricks. One of the things that I talk about on the Academy is looking at moves differently than how they're presented. So try moves in different contexts. So in this case, I'm going to show you the basic of the move, but then I'm going to talk a little bit about different things you can do with the move, just based on playing around with it and trying it, maybe with the deck face up, maybe trying it with less cards. That's always a good thing to do with all different kinds of moves. Do it in different ways, and you're going to find that you're going to have a world unlocked to you. So in this case, it's very simple. You have the 10 and the 10 on top. So it reminds you of one of those 90s commercials with call 1010 321, you know, to I don't know, sext your mom or something. So here you're going to put these 2 cards on top, and that's pretty much the setup. You're going to show the first card. I do recommend not showing the actual face. I just did that to show off so I could actually show you my virginity level here. But I recommend just taking a card and saying, this is my prediction. This is my prediction here, sir. What I want you to do without looking at my prediction card is I want you to take it and shove it anywhere you want into the deck. Now keep in mind that it's going to be very crucial, sir, that you shove it in a very particular location. So just try to take a deep breath as you do this, just so we don't mess up. And of course, the spectator could put the card pretty much anywhere they want in the middle of the deck. Now here's going to be the prophecy move. And the reason that I don't like to show the actual face of the card is that when you actually execute the move itself, that's going to be your misdirection. So the spectator's eyes are going to gravitate towards that card because it's new information. It's information they haven't seen before. So they're more likely to look at that card and not look at what took place with the deck, which is a secret cut. So let's go over that for, I believe, the 1000th time. Hey there, I just realized 4 years. 4 years I've been doing this. Today is, I believe, July the 2nd of 2020, if you're watching this sometime in the future. A couple days ago, that was my 4-year anniversary when it comes to doing videos on YouTube. So shout out to you. And then shout out to me. Shout out to this guy. 2 thumbs and likes blowjobs. This guy. Shout out to this guy right here. for making fun content for 4 years, for you unenthusiastic fucks. So what you're going to do is you're going to spread through the deck until you reach the card that is outjogged. You are then going to turn your right hand over and grab that card with your thumb. So with my little dirty thumb, I'm just going to grab this card under here, and that's all that I'm going to do. At the same time that I turn this over, which is going to reveal that card to the spectator, preferably for the first time, I'm going to take this packet and put it on top. So what I've done is that I've secretly cut the deck under the guise of showing that card. It's a perfect move. So at speed, it just looks like this. It looks like all I'm doing is turning that card from a face down position to a face up position, just like this. That's pretty much it. What I've done is that I've actually cut the cards underneath the spectator's noses. So what that means is that this card underneath is now the original top card of the deck. So that is an important property because it's pretty much the entire upper half that is here. So that's another little bit of an interesting property you could take advantage of, and I have taken advantage of in several tutorials, but I'm just going to be a little bit basic here and then spread off into advanced properties of this particular movement. So what that allows you to do is have a little bit of a mate selection here. So when the spectator sticks this card into the middle of the deck, you could spread through and talk about had they stuck their card anywhere different, it would have been a different card, or you could, draw attention to the fact that it's the 10 of clubs, because of course that means that they happen to have shoved it next to its mate, and therefore we need to be mates. And you have a nice little bit of a simple routine showing what the actual prophecy move could do. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it's important to try moves in different ways, and this is another interesting way to do it. So instead of, for example, spreading the cards, why not have that be a specific location? It's going to make sense in a little bit. So first of all, I have a prediction in my pocket here. This is the prediction. It's going to be a red card, and I'm going to put this to the side. I have the spectator cut off as many cards as they want and put it in my hand, so the spectator would have the deck in their hands, and they cut off approximately half the cards into my hand. At this point, I tell them to take this little bit of a card and to name a number. I would say between, let's make this harder, between 5 and 20. And of course, whatever number the spectator names, let's say they happen to say 10, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, thus proving that we actually have the ability to count, which is something that a lot of people don't think magicians have. And of course, to mark the location, we put the actual little bit of a prediction card. Now, here's where we reiterate to the spectator that had they chosen a different number, it would have possibly been a different ending for this particular trick. But my prediction was the 5 of spades. That was the prediction, which of course, it's a different colored back. They could have named any number, and that card happens to be the exact duplicates of that 5 of spades, the 5 of spades from the blue world. So in this case, we have the red-pilled MAGA prediction, and then we have the Biden-filled liberal. So that's another little bit of an idea. Instead of, for example, going through the cards and spreading them like normally, why not isolate that movement and actually use accounting? So in this case, we have the spectator being able to name a number, and then we're able to use a prophecy move in that way. So in this case, all you need to have is a duplicate, different colored back. So in this case, I have a 5 of spades from a red Bin Wang deck, and the other 5 of spades is going to be on top of the deck. Now, the reason I have the spectator cut the cards in my hand is because I don't want to use the entire deck. If the spectator happens to say, let's say 10, and I do the prophecy move with 10 cards, it's going to be a little bit obvious that there's something fishy going on here. So I want to make sure that the spectator has half the deck, so that becomes less noticeable. So once again, you have the 5 of spades on top that matches your prediction. You give the card to the spectator and you have them cut off a particular portion into your hand. So let's say they cut off this portion at this point, or from before, I could have introduced this card and tell them to hold on to it without peeking at it, and have them also name a number between, it could really be any number between 1 and 26, assuming that they cut directly in half. But just to keep it a little bit fair, I like to make that number a little bit elevated. Another way you could do this is just say, give me like a difficult number between 1 and 26. And whatever number they name, all you're going to do is spread to that particular number. So let's say they happen to say, I don't know, 12. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's where you take the card and have them put it in there just to mark it for the time being. As you tell the spectator that before you started, you made a little bit of a prediction. You put this card in your pocket because you knew that you would come in contact with them. You knew that you would have actual social contact with a human here today. And the card that was my predictive card is the 5 of spades. All I'm doing is a prophecy move at that point. That's all I'm doing. And again, the attention is going to be on the 5 of spades because it's new information. So therefore, the attention is not going to be on the deck, and there's going to be a little bit of a discrepancy here because this is not 12 cards. So this is going to be whatever it is that was cut. So you want that to kind of dissipate with the attention being on the actual new information that is the 5 of spades. So at this point, you're going to spread through and show the fact that they could have named whatever number, but of course, they have to name the exact number and the exact location of the predictive card here, that is the 5 of spades. So that's a nice little bit of a way of using it. Again, breaking down the action of the move as opposed to what it actually is. Now, as I mentioned earlier, when you're doing the prophecy move, the top stock, and as a matter of fact, the entire deck is very well preserved. So it's very easy to have maybe a bank of cards here on the bottom of the deck that might be able to be forced to the spectator. So when they insert the card into the middle of the deck, it's very easy to come see the card with your eyeballs here. So I could spot that this is the original second card from the bottom of the deck, call that card and place it underneath the 5, so that that could be, for example, maybe a card that you psychologically forced and placed underneath the 5 here, and that could be the prediction. So that's another little way of doing it. You could have a little bit of an index. I've had several tricks on the Academy and several tricks that I put on YouTube that exploit this particular idea, and it's a wonderful one because you could essentially psychologically force a card. You have a nice little bit of an index. They stick the card in the deck, you do the prophecy move, and then you could just call the card from the bottom of the deck and put it underneath the card, and you have a little bit of a wonderful miracle on that. But that gets a little bit complicated, so you can look up the YouTube videos for that. If I could find them, I will definitely link them in the description below. But that's the prophecy move, man. As you can see, it's a very diverse move. It's a move that I would say definitely went to some protests. It's quite a substantial move in the sense of being able to do a lot of things with it. It's not just for, oh, look, here's a prediction card. There's a lot of different things you could do with it if you use your noggin. All right, if you use your little bit of a noggin that Jesus of Nazareth gave you. But apart from that, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. It's very hard in the hood, and it's hard in the streets. So if you guys are staying safe, that's good. That's good. You don't want to end up being a statistic, you know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't want to be a statistic, because then you're just a number in a grid, man. You don't want to do that. You want to be a name on a book someday, and definitely not under mass shooters. That's not where you want to be. You want to be under a list of accomplished names,